Hey Gemini. All right, so we're going to do the general intuitive reading, and then we're going to do the extended with the astrology and talking about the eclipses and all that. Okay. Camera's like getting a little crazy. Gemini talking about an upcoming Mercury retrograde. Not surprised. First two cards. Page of Swords. There we are. And Five of Swords. Lies. Deceit. Theft. Someone stealing your peace. Lying around you. Not lying to you, but lying to others to look like something in front of you. I don't want to say because of you, but kind of because of you. Not because you're making them, but because they want something from you, which is making them deceptive to others. Wanting to present a certain image to you of who they are. Makes sense. This retrograde that's coming up, it's going to make us ruthless. Why is it going to make us ruthless? Seven of Wands. Ooh, the cards have been sticking for every sign. And here now, without even shuffling, the cards are coming up. Now, the next three that come up. Eight of Cups, Queen of Cups, Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles came up in the Lit Sunday live reading for the week that we just did. Eight of Cups, Queen of Cups, Six of Pentacles. Let's get right into it. I'll keep shuffling, but let's look at what we have so far. So there we are. There's the situation that's around us. See, even this is around us. It's not happening to us. Someone is leaving a water sign. Either we're leaving a water sign or someone is leaving a water sign, or we're leaving this part of ourselves, this like sensitive hanging on, this Cancerian energy still that's just like suffocating everything. We're leaving this behind. And why? Because this dynamic, whatever it is, we're at the point where we're like, it's too uneven. I don't want to either be here or be here in your life. I don't like this. You know, why does it always have to be either I'm desperate to know if we're going to be together, or desperate to know if you like me, or I feel so confident that I feel like I'm, you know, being charitable towards you. This dichotomy that can live within the Gemini when we like someone, we're tired of how that's playing out in this currently. And we're longing for this, you know, emotional higher ground, this manifestation ground, this higher ground of manifestation. Remember, the wands are cards of manifestation. So here we are getting to that point with everything that's going on with us, particularly because of Sagittarius' Saturn transit and how it affects us. We are finally, after years of going through situations where we really were in the clear and we're approaching things with a very pure heart, but we're deceived. We're pulled into deceptive situations. And finally now, after a good long time, you have this emotional sort of victory. You have this sense of yourself again, where you can see how hard the road has been. You can see how you've crawled and dragged yourself the past few years through this Saturn transit. And now you're like, ha, you know, I feel like I can stand on my own. I feel like I can get stuff done. I feel like I can even get over this feeling. Now, getting over this feeling may result in one of two things. It's either going to make you want to forgive whoever did this, or it's going to make you want to cut the strings energetically and move on. Either way, very positive. What I see here is that a lot of you are going to choose to move on. A lot of you are like, you know what? She can have you. You know what? I'm not going to be like this for you anymore. I'm not going to baby you and nurture you and be your mom. You know what? If you want to constantly put me in a situation where I feel insecure about my role in your life, then you can go ahead, right? This is all the same sort of energy. And the name of this game is I feel like myself again. I feel like the best version of me. I feel like I've worked hard and really had to sacrifice and fight. Again, mismatched shoes. You know, clothes are torn. I've had to really struggle to get back on top and get back on my feet and emotionally feel in control of my life. So I'm not going to let myself slip back into a situation where I go back to feeling like this, where I go back to feeling like this. Okay. So this makes sense to me. It makes sense to me that the Seven of Wands is achieved by the facilitating energy of the Eight of Cups. That makes sense to me. Because you need to leave things behind to gain higher ground. Pack light. The Hierophant, the Justice card, the Five of Pentacles, the Chariot, and the Eight of Swords. Now, all of these cards just came up for the Taurus reading. And they came up in relation to a situation that needs to be resolved. Now, if that situation that has left you feeling like you are out in the cold, left you feeling like judgment needs to be enacted, that karma needs to come in and witness this situation and witness how you've been treated, especially if that feeling has made you anxious, especially if that feeling has to do with someone who has strong Cancerian placements, and that situation has made you feel isolated and abandoned, this is the month where you get your reckoning, where that person feels the full weight of their karma, and they end up being the one who feels abandoned and left out in the cold. Now, will you have reservations about doing this to them? Not really, Gemini, because you don't have a choice in how ruthless you feel right now. That other twin has been activated, but not by anger and not by, you know, that protective nature where someone is aggressing upon you and you want to protect you or your friends. No, this is being activated by what's right. You know, this Libra energy, very dominant for us last month and dominant again now. What's right and what's wrong. What's fair and what's not fair. There is a big emphasis with this lunar eclipse for us on our higher self, on how we do good not for ourselves but for everyone, how we help the larger establishment. And we can only do that when we're coming from a place of fairness. We can only do that when we also feel that karma is working for us and isn't blind to those who have hurt us. You know, that we're not isolated and that karma is working for us and does see how we were treated. Okay, so you have all this going on while you have this lunar eclipse in Aquarius, where your purpose is really being highlighted. You're being asked how you're useful. And the answers that you're coming up with now are, let's see. Let's put it this way. You've got a good week after the lunar eclipse to figure out some stuff before Mercury retrograde comes in Virgo. And it's going to make you super strict, picky, discerning, perceptive. Your tongue will be very sharp. I would suggest not saying a lot to anyone during retrograde. It's... You know, it's been hard. This touch and go energy that really puts you through the ringer by taking you this way and then this way and then this way and then this way and kind of, you know, the chariot dragging you behind it back and forth. It can make one lose all hope and feel completely alone. You know, the irony of this card is that there's two of them, and yet they are completely alone in their misery. So this applies just as much to a situation that you are perhaps viewing from the outside that has to do with someone who has these placements, where you can see the misery in their life, and you can see the misery and the isolation of these two people, and yet they're having a very hard time taking this step of what's fair and what's right. Because the truth is, if two people are this miserable together, the fair and right thing is to be kind and to leave each other. Now, if this applies to you and you've been feeling like you've been jerked around by somebody and you aren't being treated fairly or rightly, then this is also, you know, this is also to open your eyes to say, you may think you're with this person, but really you are essentially alone anyway, so why are you suffering through this like this? If you feel like this anyway, what's the point in just having somebody next to you if they're just as miserable as you are? That's not what you want. The Mercury retrograde comes in Virgo and is like, really? Is this really what we want to be doing? I don't think so. We love ourselves. Let's stop all the bullshit, right? And then we've got this solar eclipse. We've got the ability now to interact in a way that's very positive and very healthy, to interact in a way that makes us say some things out loud that need to be said, to even some scales that need to be evened, to be able to say to someone, you know, I was vulnerable with you and you lied to me and you made me feel alone and you did it unnecessarily and you did it because your energy is frenetic and you're not necessarily trustworthy or honest. Because the gag here, Gemini, is that no matter how much you think that people are being honest with you, you will never really know the depths of their sincerity because you are essentially a naive zodiac sign. You have that childlike nature that keeps you from truly imagining how nefarious people can be. Sure, Geminis will embellish, but this Five of Swords energy is a lot more than that. And the ensuing trauma is, you know, says it all. So the advice being Eight of Cups, you know, count your blessings, count your victories, realize you dodged a bullet and move on. Or get stuck emotionally in something that puts you in this back and forth. Now I'm in control, now I have the power, now he or she has the power. Now I have the power, now he or she has the power. It really is up to you, but ultimately where you end up when you do this is here. Is that worth it? Right? Because as of the 23rd, when the sun joins Mercury and you've got all this magnetic Virgo energy, you want to be really careful who you want to nurture with that energy. You want to be really careful who you let into your life to, you know, pamper and be all cuddly and everything with, because you're going to feel those feels. And if you're just going by whoever's available, I'm pretty sure you're going to end up running into that person. You can feel those feels without applying them to a human being unless they're worth it. Okay. Now moving into the end of the month, we've got more than enough cards on the table. I'm just shuffling for an outcome card now. Now moving towards the end of the month, on the 27th, we have Venus meeting Mars, and something very, very, very real is coming in for us. There is a sincerity of communication. There is this feeling almost the night of the 26th and moving into the 27th of, oh my God, we were supposed to meet. Oh my God, I can't believe how things went and the course of events that brought us here together. So if there is a night this year where you want to like do it up and, you know, be looking like money and go out there and like be dope, the 26th is the night to do it. There will be a deepening of feeling that's happening between you and anyone that you meet on that night and going into the 27th. It's just a faded kind of feeling. It'll be very easy to get romantically involved. It'll be very easy to celebrate too much. And we'll go more into that doing the bottom of the deck when we do the extended reading. So, what I say, very easy to fall in love. The lovers meet. Venus and Mars meet, turning us into our most positive selves. Damn, look at all these cards of love. 10 of Pentacles, 6 of Cups, 10 of Cups, celebration. You could go ahead with yourself. The Sun, Leo, yes. You know, yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to. No, I did mean to, but we know. We got you. So, this is, sorry, I didn't mean to get so ahead of myself. There I go being Gemini extra. But look at us. We're going from a page to a queen as I'm talking about this Venus meeting Mars, right? And what I have written here for it is Venus meeting Mars in our 3rd house. Super hot chemistry. This is Leo energy. This is someone who's serious about you and is like, yo, let's do this. Like, what? Why are you single? How are you single? You're the hottest thing ever. Like, there is a lot of this. What did I say? You're going to feel like it's faded. Go back and rewind and watch that part. That's before these cards came up. You're going to feel like it's faded. You're going to feel like, ooh, like this is real. Like, okay, all right. You've got a lot of really good cards. What did I say? Deepening of feeling. Here you go. Power. Coming into your power. And still retaining the softness and the love and the partnership. Money. Money. Lucky. You know what I see here? I see luck. I see this muck being left behind. I see all this nonsense being left behind. You see how this 8 of Cups holds the key. Come back here, please. Holds the key to your energy. Blooming and blossoming into something so much bigger and getting a new opportunity. Emotional victory means leaving this behind. Regardless of if that's the thing that turns back around and comes and produces itself, it doesn't matter. You can't think of it that way. You just have to realize that you've dodged a bullet and you need to move forward quickly. Okay? Yes, it is tough, but these cups aren't being tended to the way they should, and you deserve better than that. And as soon as you realize that and you walk out of this situation, you will get what you deserve, and it will make you feel this way. You know, let's not forget the little raven bird flying in the background there in the air. That's us too. Right? The air through those trees, that's us too. Those clouds in the sky, that's us too. We are the sky. Okay? Our thinking is limitless. Our expanse is limitless. Our perspective is limitless. Let's use that instead of holding ourselves down to something that's not for us. Let's move past this and expand into our natural given right to be dominant, to be on top of it all, to sit on the sky. With what? With love. Not just domineering and authoritative, with love, with success in love and money and partnership, and really feeling for the other person as if, whoa, I know you. Jumping right, into the middle of an adventure and saying, yeah, let's do this together. Let's go have some adventures together. This is it. This is it playing out right here. Queen of Swords. That's funny. Every time I see that card now, I think of Elma. My friend Elma, the one that owns the salon, Queen of Swords. Because I was going to talk about my hair later anyway, so it's funny that it came up like this. But do you see here the amount of luck and power that comes into your life when you leave this dynamic behind? Now, what holds us to that dynamic, Gemini? We already know. We already know what holds us. It's the mushy twin that gets exacerbated by this Cancerian energy that won't, let go. Like I was talking about this on Instagram. I'm like, can we please just be done with this Cancer season? Like, I don't need this in my life. I don't need this. And I think it's because I'm here already. I don't want this. I want something better than whatever nonsense was going on here. Ugh, I'm over it. I don't want to. In the I Ching, it says when you've scaled a difficult mountain or a difficult pass, it behooves you to keep moving forward and not turn around and look at what you've just scaled, because there is always a danger that you might fall back down. So just because you've reached a place of emotional safety where you're like, F this person doesn't have emotional strings tied to me anymore, I do what I want, you still have to go in there, Gemini, and process these feelings. And some of those feelings you won't be able to process. Some of those feelings will have to get left right where they are. And you will be able to process them perhaps years later. But for now, you know you gotta move. You know you gotta go. Okay? And what are you moving away from? This I'm gonna hang on no matter what. This I'm gonna love you no matter what. This, like, I'm gonna smother you and nurture you and think about you all the time and do everything for you and mama you. No, we're moving away from this energy because we're tired of what it makes us into. Okay? And look what happens as soon as we're done with this dynamic. As soon as we realize, you know what? This isn't fair to me. What happens? Money luck, love luck, partnership luck, coming into our own, feeling extremely powerful, coming into and out of August. At the end of the month, feeling fated to meet this person and instantly almost like falling in love. Bright, bright future. Is there lurking going on? You betcha there's lurking, but listen, I'll take you right back here. Don't let that earth sign hold you. Don't let the lurking hold you back. Move forward. Because this is what's waiting for you. All right? Now, that concludes the general reading, the general look at August for you. Now I'm going to switch over to the other channel where you can watch the extended reading. You cannot subscribe to the channel. You just go and click on the video and there are payment and rental options. All right. So I will switch over there now. We're going to do some clarifying. We're going to pull some clarifying cards for the Eight of Cups energy so we know more about how we want to let go, what tools we can use to let go, what things we need to know that will make it easier for us to detach. But also, of course, we want to pull some cards for all this love, for this 10 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles, 6 of Cups. Like, who are the signs that are coming up in relation to love? What are we anticipating here, right? What can we prepare ourselves for? So we'll do that, and then we'll take a look at the astrology and how the planets are moving and the dates and all of that. All right, so that'll be out on the other channel now. I will see you guys in September. I will put up information about the meetup in August in the info box below, as well as Oakland tickets and all the rest of it. Okay, I love you guys. I love you guys. Hold it together this month. It's going to be a little bit painful. Letting go is painful. Letting go is never easy. But we can't keep limiting ourselves to what we know, thinking that it's the best that we can get. Sometimes what Gemini does is Gemini cuts its losses and says, okay, well, if this is the best it's going to get, I'll stick with it. Sure, over time, you resent the person you did that for and you resent yourself for selling out that way. But we will sustain that sort of existence for, I don't know, a decade easily, right? What I'm saying is, we're at a moment now in August where we get to decide if we want to waste time. If someone is in your life in terms of profession, it's your boss or your professor or your parent or your sibling or your lover or your friend who just isn't able to treat you the way you're supposed to be treated, regardless of if they're a good person, regardless of if they mean it or not, regardless of what the extenuating circumstance is. If you can look at that person and say, you know what, I don't think you're being a good person. The way you're being is not fair. It's not fair to me. It's not fair to that person or this situation or this classroom or this work environment or this friendship. This isn't fair. You will find that you will be really hurt by the reaction to that. Because a lot of times people pile things onto Gemini because we're so understanding. It's like, oh, it's okay, she won't mind. Oh, it's okay, she's down. Oh, it's okay, she's fine with it. Or he, right? And inside, Gemini is so deeply moral. And that's weird, right? Like, there are probably other signs who are cross-watching who are laughing, going, Gemini is moral? Yeah, we are. Just because our morality is fluid doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. It doesn't necessarily mean that there's something wrong or evil about us. Our morality is fluid because we're so fluid in our intelligence, because we have highly refined emotional intelligence, and we have a rational brain. Sorry about that. So, because we have these two qualities, these two different sorts of intelligence to work with, it can be very easy to pile too much onto a Gemini, because we're going to tolerate it, we're going to understand it, we're going to make even excuses for you from our plethora of, logical, rational excuses that we've put aside that we use for ourselves. If we love you, we'll use all those excuses for you. Oh, well, she did that to me, not because she's not a good friend, but because really it's this. Or she's having problems. Or she's, this and this is going on. Oh, well, he did this to me because he doesn't really know what to do. He's scared. He's, right? There are so many different kinds of excuses that we can use when it comes to why we're not being treated the way we treat others. And what I'm saying right now is, now this other sort of energy comes in, which is perhaps not as emotionally intelligent. Libran energy is very rational. Libras have emotions, sure they do. But you know what? Nothing comes between them and what they think is right. It doesn't matter how you feel about it. It doesn't matter how you feel about it. It's irrelevant. It's about what's right. And I feel us more and more and more looking up to that Libra energy like an older sibling, looking up to our cardinal sign energy and being like, damn, I want to be like you. Like I want to reach that level of surety within myself where I can look at something that I really, really want. And I can say, you know what? I don't want it like this. I don't like this. I don't like what's happening here. Yes, I want this thing, but this is not the package I want it in. Often when I do these videos, I'll talk about how if you want something, don't be picky about the packaging. Doesn't matter what packaging it comes in. It's the thing the universe is trying to give you, right? In this case, it's the exact opposite. What I'm saying is you get to look at the thing you want in the face and say, you know what? I like you. I love you. I want this thing. I want this job. I want this thing, but I want it on my terms. I don't want it like this because this isn't the right way to do this. If other people are being hurt by what I'm gaining, I don't want it. If I need to cut other people down to get what I want, I don't want it. We're at a point where we're feeling very Buddhistic that way. We've lost our sense of expectation. So much has gone wrong for us. So much has not gone the way we wanted. The past few months have been so hard. This last little bit of the Saturn transit that really wrings you out, to squeeze that last bit of rebellious will, and really makes you behave yourself. That is what's happening to us, and we're exerting that onto the people in our lives now and going, listen, you got to behave yourself. You got to do the right thing, or you can't be a part of what I consider the institution of myself. You are an anathema to the institution that is me, because you're doing stuff around me that doesn't vibe with me. Like, you need to move from around me, with this nonsense. So taking that energy and trusting it with your gut, that doing the right thing will get you the right results, whether it means that that opportunity or that person walks out of your life, or that person completely, proves themselves and commits to whatever it is that you need them to commit to. August will show you definitively where you stand and what side of this line you need to be on. And I can tell you with all surety that as soon as you pick yourself and you stand on the side of the line that has to do with you and putting yourself and your value first, this 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Cups energy, I am not joking. When I was making these notes, I was laughing to myself about like, how am I going to even explain how much love is in the air? I hope the cards support me. And here it is. There's so much love as soon as you just let this thing go. Let it go. It was part of a larger lesson that Saturn was trying to teach you. We cannot get stuck holding on to the signpost and forgetting about the road. We cannot. We have to walk this road, right? Gemini are having these moments where our emotions are getting the better of us, and wanting something to work out gets the better of us, and we can't see the forest for the trees. And this is one of those times where the universe comes in and is just like, see the forest? See the trees? See the forest? You see the difference? Get it together. And we turn to the people around us and we go, you see the forest? You see the trees? You see the difference? This is me. This is how you need to be in my life. You don't want to? Get the fuck out of my life. And as harsh as that may seem, you have every right. This is not one of those moments where Gemini is being petty and just wants to do what they want to do because, we want to make mischief, or, we are a mischievous sign. This is like, we're not being like ourselves at all, really. We're taking on the qualities of the cardinal air sign this month, where we're like, no, what's right is right. You're not being right. Like, let me reference another Keanu Reeves movie, like I did on the live stream, but in The Devil's Advocate, they're on the train and there is this Dominican kid who picks a fight with Al Pacino, and Al Pacino in Spanish is like, you know what? You should actually not be pointing that blade at me. You should go home and see what your girlfriend is up to. She's sleeping with your best friend, and go put that knife where it belongs, giving him horrible, suggestions. And he says to the guy, because Al Pacino is giving him detail. Like, she's going to sleep with him on your favorite green cover, bed cover, things like he shouldn't know. And as the guy's walking off the train, he looks at him and he's like, you're not right, man. You're not right. There's something not right about you. And Al Pacino looks at him and is like, oh, I'm right. And we're at that point where we're going to be looking at people, perhaps people we really deeply felt at one point very attached to. And we're looking at them and going, this isn't right. You're not right. And the response is going to be very much like that Pacino response of, oh, I'm right. And you're going to have to find it within yourself to not be the naive Gemini and to say, no, you're not right. I don't like this. And what happens as soon as you do that, lest this reading be too negative and aggressive? I mean, you're my Geminis. You get it anyway. But do you see the balance between the aggressive twin and the kind, compassionate one in this reading? I'm totally embodying both because I feel at peace. And the peace that I've gained, because I'm always a couple of weeks early, the peace I've gained here is this 8 of Cups energy, where it's like, you know what? It's not right. You're not right. Right? When you get to that point, the universe comes in and rewards you right away. Right away, the universe is like, good for you. You learned your lesson? Good. Let's move on to the next. Oh, by the way, here's a candy. Here's a lollipop. Good. You did that well. Now, let's go. Let's go to the next thing. And Gemini's kind of been stuck in like being like, I get a lollipop for this? I don't know if I want that. I just want to stay here. I just want this person to love me. I just want this thing to work out, And the universe is like, no, this was a lesson. Stop it. Here, take this candy. Let's go, And the candy you're going to get for, taking this shot and not screaming your head off or whatever, the compensation you get now is so divinely timed. You got love coming for you. Get it together. All the way together. Prepare yourself for the end of August. All right? I love you. You guys are the best. We the best.